The Arusha peace agreements were signed in 2000. So Burundi has had many years to implement many of them, and it's gone broadly quite well. There are some unimplemented commitments that are very important to the peace process, such as transitional justice, supporting the government and the people to see through the transitional justice process is part of the BNUB mandate. Another part is strengthening the culture of human rights, and there we've had some specific aims, including the setting up of a National Independent Human Rights Commission, which happened this year. The biggest element of the mandate is the issue of political dialogue, broad-based political dialogue, but also very specifically between the government and the extra-parliamentary parties that walked out of the election last year. So we are there to help the government and the parties normalize their relations, which is very challenging at this point. Other main aspects of the mandate include the strengthening of national institutions, institutions that are critical to long-term democracy and governance in Burundi, such as the judiciary, such as parliament. But frankly, these are the work of decades. So my aim in those fields is to entrench that type of support in the UN country team, in the work of UNDP, so that we can see it start and we can leave knowing that it will carry on. I don't think a political mission needs to remain for, say, the strengthening of the judiciary. As long as that's satisfactorily embedded in the UN country team, that is work that others can carry on. The tricky part will be saying, okay, so what are the benchmarks? How much progress in a given area, say around political dialogue or transitional justice or human rights, is going to be good enough to trigger the mission's departure, the mission's transition into a UN country team? And here my aim has been to tell everyone that this isn't going to be a precise science. We're never going to be able to say, okay, we're now at a count of 50, and when we hit a count of 75, that's the time for the mission to go. I think what we'll be looking at is more of a traffic light approach, that as long as things are moving in a positive direction, let's say moving towards green on all these areas, we can leave with the satisfaction of knowing that the peace process is on the right track. The country is broadly stable. It's had two successful elections, 2005 and 2010, elections that were signed off on by international observers. It has quite a strong government. For all those reasons, we see the country as being on the right track, and it's quite firmly embedded in the East African community. Where the weaknesses lie are around respect for human rights. I've referred to the high level of targeted killings that we see. Governance and capacity generally are not strong, and political space. We would like to see a climate in which all parties can operate, can play a part, feel they have a stake, and that's not yet the case. So those are issues we will continue to work on while we're still there, but I'm generally optimistic about the direction Burundi has taken.